What's up? What's up? It's your girl Hasina.
Hey y'all, it's Dr. Lanisha.
It's your girl, Dr. Love.
Welcome to Three the Hard Way, where the conversations are unfiltered and the truth is told.
By now, y'all already know it's your favorite ladies talking honestly about the wild, wonderful, and sometimes messy world of life and relationships.
And listen, we're not here to be scripted. We're here to be authentic, tell true stories. We want to create an atmosphere where everybody feels seen.
Absolutely. So it does not matter what your relationship status is, whether you're single, married, dating is complicated. Trust me, there's going to be something in this podcast for you.
This is for sure your space for laughing, reflecting, and taking actionable steps towards the life of your dreams.
We got you, sis. And look, we're here to do the hard work and the hard work together. So y'all ready to get it cracking?
Let's get into it.
Y'all ready? Because I'm ready. All right, y'all. Y'all know how we start off our episodes. It's time for grows and glows, okay? So I'm gonna get a little bit personal in this episode. And I'm getting personal because whew, life be lifing, y'all. Life be lifing, okay? And this week, I was telling the ladies before we hopped on to share with you all, I was telling the ladies that I had a very emotionally and mentally draining week, y'all. Like, it's been wild. And our good Dr. Love said, well, what triggered it, honey? And I thought about it. I'm like, baby, if I feel out of control or just like things are all over the place, it is typically tied to money. I ain't even gonna lie. It's either the lack of needing to make more,
Yeah.
tired of hustling for what I have, whatever it is typically around money. So I really have to go back and see exactly which thing about money, because child, it's always something with money these days.
Always.
But I have to
For
go
real.
back and see what the specific trigger or activator was, and then I'll go from there. But what I um learned, my grow, was that I asked for help. So my grow and my glow is that I asked for help, and I really embraced in this past week that it is okay to not be okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm with you,
Yep.
Well,
sis.
I'll take it next. I appreciate you for sharing that, being vulnerable, Dr. Niche, because I think that more people than we could imagine can relate to that.
Mhm. Yeah.
My grows and glows for this week, I kind of just had to step back from my routine and take some time for myself. I feel like sometimes we go so hard that we forget to live a little. Yes, you need to be responsible. Yes, you need to plan for your future. Yes, you need to do all the things, but you also need to live right now.
Yeah.
So after a great week at work, I'm happy to say I still chose to celebrate a little bit this weekend, and so I could confidently say like I had a balanced week, and I'm proud because it's more often than not it's lopsided. Like you overworked yourself or you overthought yourself into a headache, or it's always
Mhm.
something. But
Yeah.
to practice what I know, the skills that I know, and have it be just balanced and beautiful, I'm proud. I'm proud of that for me.
Nice.
So my
I
grows and glows.
love that.
Good for you. Good for you, sis.
What you got,
I was
Dr. Love?
I was gonna say I love both. I love the authenticity. We're gonna have challenges. We're gonna have great weeks, the peaks and valleys, right? And I feel like
Yeah.
if you ain't never stepped in a little mud, you can't appreciate some grass. So I'm happy that I see a transition happening
Mhm.
where you know we might find ourselves in a tough space, but that's actually a part of what we're gonna be speaking to today. So My growing glow though is kind of tied into just continuing to develop myself and redevelop myself. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll be the first to say, yeah, bachelor's, master, doctorate, this A B C D E F G. But at the end of the day, you got to keep up with the times. And so my growing glow is I'm still trying to figure out. I finally started last week looking into how can I redefine and continue developing myself in my profession. So I'm looking to go back and do a certificate program. I'm looking to be licensed. I can't even talk. Be licensed internationally. I'm just trying to figure out how do I keep developing myself? And the reason why it's a grow is because sometimes you think you've reached a level where you can't continue. No, I still got
Mm-hmm.
stuff to learn. I still got
Mm-hmm.
stuff to do. So that's my glow as well.
Yeah.
Like
I
continuing
love
to
that.
develop myself.
Yeah.
That's all.
I love that. And y'all know the next thing we typically talk about is shout outs. And I have to, we didn't, nobody sent us a message or a
Yes.
DM. And so we don't have any particular shout outs, but I do have a shout out for us, right? So
Period.
the other night, Chuck and I were talking, and he was like, "You know what? I see like the growth in y'all from when we first started the podcast until now." Like he mentioned that he's seen the evolution of us, just as women. And as we grow and evolve, so shout out to us and applause to our
Absolutely.
grows and glows. Okay,
Yes.
Hand clap.
Absolutely.
shout out,
Thank
yeah,
you, God.
shout out to us. We actually, we some dope ass women. I can't even lie, and
Right.
I am so grateful to be in community with y'all.
You right about it.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Connor. Thank you. That's what's up. Well, y'all ready to jump in?
I'm
Let's
ready.
get into it.
I'm
Right,
ready.
let's jump in. So, we are talking today about how we are shut down ready. And so, let me just I want to give an introduction of what we mean by that, and then we're gonna get into it. So, we want to provide tips on how we're either currently or working towards creating freedom for ourselves.
Mhm.
That could be financial freedom, that could be just stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Just trying to discuss the things that we're incorporating into our lives, into our families, that's helping us for critical times like this. We do want to just send out positive vibes, positive energy, good spirit to those who might be impacted by the shutdown, because I think we're on what day 19.
Yep.
And so I know there's been tons of layoffs.
Mhm.
All the major departments are at risk of layoffs, and so some people's families are actually impacted. Sidebar: my daughter was talking about how they were doing something for 9/11. um, and she said there was a little girl in class that was like, "Why are we doing this? It was so long ago. Like nobody." And what I said to my daughter is, people are impacted, and sometimes you don't know them.
Mhm.
You may not
Yeah.
know them directly, but it's a family sitting right next door. They got a cousin here, a uncle there, a sister, that's actually impacted by the things that happen in our world today. And so we want to speak to those that are either impacted or just want to be prepared for if something
Mhm.
comes barking up your door. 'Cause we never know. Okay.
Absolutely. Whether it be government shutdown or anything else, we all remember COVID.
Yep.
And that really, like, that brings to mind a question that I have for you ladies. Before we jump in deep, do you think people are taking this serious yet? Is the
No,
level of urgency there in the Black community for what is going on in America?
No.
it's a good
Nope.
question. I think that people, maybe one of those 1,300 IRS workers that got laid off, they might be taking it seriously. You
Mhm.
know, but people don't necessarily feel like if it's not barking up my alley, it's gonna affect me. And we
Yep.
sometimes we just don't know.
And that just bothers me, especially with social media. So many people are on social media, and there are videos out there talking to us about stuff. I cannot remember the lady's name, but she was just talking about a case, Louisiana versus Calise. I might be saying this wrong, but she was
Mhm.
talking about how if Louisiana wins this, voting rights for us, this is the second part of the voting rights, we might not be allowed to vote, or it could definitely impact us tremendously, and it's not being talked about. And I know for me, I'm like, okay, we're gonna make it through. All right, 4 years we can get through. But
Mhm.
there's um someone has been the leader of the US for 279 days
Uh-huh.
and has shaken, I mean, when I say shaking the table, this bitch is shaking the table. it
Oh,
is
Mhm.
you
it
right
is
about that.
wild. It's wild. But I'm gonna find that lady, and I definitely want to link that video into the show notes because, to Love's point, we might not know. So I think that we have a responsibility on our platform to share the information that we do find, so that more people will know about things that they need to take seriously.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Dr. Nishan. And I also, and this is just my opinion, I feel like that is purposefully being done. I think the media is being censored, TikTok is being censored. You really have to do a bit of digging to get to the real news,
Mhm.
because at the surface, it's just a lot of BS and distractions, like things about celebrities, for example, or balls, or whatever they're doing. That's always kind of pushed in our face, or sports. So you have to do a little bit of work to get
Mm,
to the real news and what's going on in this country. So
Mhm.
we are definitely being censored for
I
sure.
agree.
So spreading the information, like you said, Dr. Nish, I feel like we have a responsibility to do that when we find it out.
For sure. For sure.
I'm with you. Well, you all want to jump into these tips? We got 10, maybe even a couple more bonus tips of how we are shut down ready, how we're creating an environment where financial freedom is the target, where we feel comfortable if situations hit our front door, we can
Hmm.
still feed our family, and the strategies we're using just to stay woke. Okay.
I'm with it.
I throw out the first one, and then we could just go a little round
Keep it
robin. Okay.
Hmm.
So my first thing is I'm big on like entrepreneurship, self employment. I ain't never like clocking in, y'all. It is, and I've done it. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the means to an end, if that's the bridge to what I'm trying to
Hmm.
do, I've done it. But I've had to have a lot of autonomy because if you tell me what I can and can't do, yeah, I ain't gonna
that
change.
tough.
So
That's
my
a
first,
fact.
yeah, I'm struggling. So my first tip is developing your business while you are still employed. So
Hmm. Hmm.
December, and I probably should have shared this with Girls and Clothes. December makes actually my first full year that I have never been employed by anybody but myself. Okay, so first full
I
year,
know.
right?
Wait
But
a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, thanks. So but a part of that was developing my business while I was still employed as a W-2 employee because I understand
Hmm.
that consistent income is helpful when you have a family. But my thing
Yeah.
is, if you're trying to create that sense of freedom at some point, develop it. So, yes, if you got to work some hours after you get off, you got to do some weekends, putting your business plan together and growing it, do it while you still have the steady income. So then if something hits it and you need to pivot,
Hmm.
then you're not starting from scratch. You just registering your LLC. You just opening up your business account. You already got some of the fundamentals in place and maybe you even got some business flowing. And so
Yeah.
that was my first tip. Try to develop If you have a business idea, do it while you're employed. So if you need to pivot, it's already
Mm-hmm.
cooked. Okay,
I
Love
love
good one.
that.
that's good.
Love that.
I'll take number two. So I going to start my first tip by saying you got to take inventory of your expenses.
Mm.
And that might look like taking a pen and a piece of paper and writing down every single thing you are responsible for on a monthly basis. Because when you don't
Mm-hmm.
put pen to paper, those little things tend to go over your head or they just get mixed up, with all the things going on in our lives on a day to day basis.
Mm-hmm.
But when you pause for a second and look at it, you'll be surprised how many things you can eliminate.
That
So
part.
that's one of
Yeah.
the things that I did to just make sure I'm prepared for the uncertainty of America right now. And I was
Mm-hmm.
able to cancel some subscriptions, look at, okay, why did I DoorDash 7 times last month? No thanks. And now I'm more aware, like, okay, nope, pack a lunch. So, tip number two, take inventory of what you're spending your money on and
Mm-hmm.
eliminate those things that are not essential.
Oh, love that, baby. You them subscriptions, child. Just be pulling them out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead with tip three. And tip three is something that's definitely close to me. Because again, remember, I don't always ask for help. I'm always just trying to show up for everybody else. But tip number three is to negotiate and communicate early. Early.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that this shutdown, or even in instances where uh, recession, to be recession proof or ready, recessionally prepared. I like the way that sounds. If that could affect your paycheck, proactively contact your lenders, your landlords, utility
That's so good.
companies.
Yeah.
Many folks, you know, let me not say many. There are some hardship options out there. If they're still there, you're gonna have to do some work. Deferments, payment plans, but you have to ask before you fall behind, and again, asking for help is not weakness, it's strategy. Actually, it's a strategy, which is something that, or one of the reasons why we are talking about this topic anyway. Love brought this up earlier. She was like, it's strategy. It's
Yeah.
strategy. So
Yeah.
asking for help again is not a weakness. Tip number three is to negotiate and communicate early. Contact those folks. If you are, I know, if you are anything like me and you don't want to call them people, you don't want to ask for help, you don't want to let them know that you can't pay this bill,
Mm-hmm.
listen, listen, call them. They might be able to help you. And if you get somebody that can't help you, hang up and call back again. Maybe you get somebody else that will.
Hello.
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 Can I share a personal story real quick
Mm-hmm.
to your point, Denise? So I was in over my head in credit card debt. Um, I was so stressed. I'm just like, it doesn't matter how many times I keep making payment, another payment, another payment. I said, this card is not going down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, the interest was eating up so much of the payment. I was just
Mm-hmm.
barely making progress. But, I'm paying what I can. So one day I was like, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I called him up. I said, look, okay, you got to remember, guys, there are people just like you and me. And I
Hello.
just had a real conversation with the representative. I didn't put on my, hi, my name is such and such, and no, I was like, look, I can't do
Yeah.
this no more. I
Mm-hmm.
need some help. And I need you
Yep.
to tell me what options you have for customers that are experiencing hardship. And
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
we went on to have a regular conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get on a payment plan with that particular credit card for 12 months with no interest.
Oh,
Nice.
come on,
Nice.
They
God.
are not
We
going
had
to
it.
call you and offer you these options. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just want our listeners to know that Dr. Nisha is 100% correct. You have to call these people and let them know that you need help, because there are
Mm-hmm.
things in place to help you, but they are not going to tell you. You have
Right.
to ask for it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Okay, okay. That was
That
that
was
was still a
three.
part of three. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. We cooking. There's a lot happening here. Okay. Um, so four. My next tip is investments. Okay. And so whether it's stock market, real estate. So let me say this. I think sometimes when we think about investing, we think heavy hitting, five bands,
Yeah,
and my thing is don't kind of stump yourself in the foot because you're looking for a big splash. Even if you can buy one share. I'm gonna tell the story like when I bought into Tesla, for example, this was during the pandemic when stuff was all flipping all kind of ways. I bought into Tesla at 570 $570, right, a share, and those shares went to like $2,200 before the stock split. Okay, so that means that essence that was like a $1,700 earning per share. you know and if this time comes up in your life, for example, and your job is impacted, $1,700 can go a long way. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just one share. Now, I ain't saying invest in tellers. I don't know how they're doing right now. But but what I am saying is try even the small things.
Yeah.
Bally's Casino in Chicago, they put out an IPO for their new casino, and it was a $250 investment. They only wanted black and female investors, and if you weren't, you could get in, but it wasn't going to be that price. And
Mm-hmm.
so try to take advantage of opportunities to invest, even if it's small, because even if you
Yeah.
make a little bit of change, it's going to go away. It's flipping your money. Scared money don't make no money.
that
Listen.
part.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, we understand that, there may be some individuals that can't take that risk right now. But do your best to, like Love
Yeah,
says, start small if that's what you have to do. But
Yeah.
get into it. Come on, Pink Trades.
Ah, you remind
that
me.
part exactly. And you know what? To number four, investments. I'll use myself as an example. If the stock market is above where you can't hit that mark right now. You're not there yet. There are so many other micro investments that you could make just in everyday life. For me, I'm a thrifter. I love to thrift.
Mm,
You won't too much find me at Neiman Marcus and Bloomingdale's anymore. So when I'm thrifting in these stores, if I see anything exclusive, anything that I know could be resold for a profit, I buy it and I flip it on Facebook Marketplace.
mm-hmm.
So I don't want you guys to be boxed into, oh, if I don't have thousands of dollars to invest in the stock market, there's no other way. Yes, you just have to get creative. And for me, I just turned something that I was passionate about into a stream of income. And trust me, those $1,500 add up. So you just
Mm-hmm.
have to be, like we said, strategic. Think
Yeah.
outside of the box and be creative and use
Mm-hmm.
something that you already do, that you already love to make money.
Listen, I was just wondering. So let me add, my kids love thrifting. Right, we went to a good
No
old.
way.
It was a good one,
Wow.
and I was able to buy a friend of mine. His aunt needed a television. I bought a $20 holla. It was a $20 flat screen, y'all. It had to be at least like a 40.
Listen.
So
Listen.
I love that. I love
Listen.
that.
I listen, I love to thrift. I'm so glad you said that. And I love to DIY. I find great peace and pleasure in taking something that has been gently used and creating something different with it. It taps into my creativity, which I've been craving a lot of lately, to be creative. Um
yeah,
and I've been loving it. So yeah, make them investments. All
you
right.
could.
Yes.
Yeah, you could make stuff.
Yeah.
I make little stick
She's
figures,
creative. She's so creative.
all kind of things. I be like, who put that together for you? Girl, I made that. Yeah,
Love, you are creative. You are creative too.
okay. Okay, we on 5. Where we at?
We on
Okay,
5, Big Me. It's on you.
all right. So, tip number 5 for the people. I'm going to throw out mindfulness. And let me tell you why.
Mm,
I found myself a bit overinvested in the things going on in Chicago.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The National Guard being deployed there, just seeing these clips on social media of them harassing people, women, children,
Yes.
families. Then obviously the big protest yesterday. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I went to bed thinking about it, worried about it, and I had to pause and say, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be mindful of where you are. You don't even live there, and what you have control over. I have no
Mm-hmm.
control over him deploying the National Guard, no control over anything that's going on there, but I was taking it very personal. Like, that's our hometown. And then I
Mm-hmm.
started creating these scenarios of, oh, but if I go back there, are they going to bother me? Are they going to bother my son? It was tearing me up. And I just want to remind people, yes, we see what's going on. We acknowledge the state of America right now, but do not let it consume your mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
prepare yourself, but do not be consumed by it. Be mindful of where you are and what you can control and what you
Yeah.
cannot.
Yeah. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
love that. Just to, put my input on that. Economic uncertainty can definitely activate a lot of fear and anxiety. So as Hasina is saying, create those grounding routines, whether it's prayer, journaling, taking walks, going to therapy, investing in a coach. Stay informed for sure,
Yeah.
but you might not want to doom scroll yourself into distress because that
Yeah.
is a thing.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
had to put that thing down. It was bad. And the videos just got worse and worse. I
Whew.
was like, okay, pump your
Yeesh.
brakes.
I know, right? We're like, hold on. So we had to slow down.
Slow down.
What I
I, right. Um, so I'll go ahead with tip number 6. Love, unless you had anything to add about that one.
no,
Okay.
all you.
Tip number 6 is community, community, community. Okay.
Mhm.
If things get tight, community will be currency. So make sure you're developing connections with individuals within your community. When you build a mutual support system, you share resources, you can swap
Yeah.
skills, or you can even start accountability groups around saving, budgeting, planning, and things of that sort. I think back to a time where we lived in Vegas, and all of us have a unique set of skills. What I'm thinking of a movie. I will find you and kill you. Anyway, we have unique sets of skills, but we played off each other's strength. If
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hasina, if you knew that I did something, you would come to me for that. If I know you did something really well, I would go to you. We was always going to love for something. We was
Yeah.
you
I'm like,
know,
what do
and
I was.
huh? What'd you say, love?
I know.
I was like, what do I do? I was sure trying to figure out what.
No, girl. Shall I reel them off?
Yeah.
You do a you do a lot of things, okay? But I think that
Yeah.
we all are. But going back to the tip of community, community, community,
Yeah.
listen, connect with your people, because we really gonna be all we got anyway. And more people might be experiencing the things that we're experiencing as well, or have talents that we didn't know, or skill sets that we didn't know about, that we can swap for. But we're not creating community. We're staying in our own silos. Collective resilience goes way further than an
Mm,
individual struggle. So connection is a survival strategy. So don't isolate. Please don't isolate. Collaborate and connect with individuals in your community.
absolutely. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna piggyback that. We're on tip 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we kind of already spoke to it, so I'm just gonna elaborate. Don't be a one trick pony. Okay.
Mm.
have to utilize whatever those skills are.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter can braid. I mean, she can give you some bohos, some knotless, and she'll say, "I don't want to braid," but then she'll say, "I need some money, baby. Get the braiding." You
Yep.
Yeah.
know, like if
Yep.
you have a skill, even if you have a full time job. I mean, I'm a licensed therapist in 4 states, and I'm also a licensed realtor. Let's get to it. Like, don't
Clock
just
that.
put all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
If you know how to crochet, if you know how to make wigs, holla at me. If you know how to niche, but if
I got y'all. I got
you don't sit on your talents, because if you need to call on one of those talents, you need it ready
you.
in the
Yep.
trigger. If you gotta pull out one of those talents.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I'm gonna piggyback and
Yeah.
say that bartering falls right into this tip
Mm-hmm.
because if
Mm-hmm.
money's tight and you've done a good job of building community,
Yep.
uh look, sis, I'm going out of town. I need a babysitter. You want to swap childcare for some boho braids? Like, what you want to do?
That part.
Listen.
Barter is
Seriously,
real.
like I think that we need to get back to that anyway. But it's
Mm-hmm.
also a very good tip for the state, for the way things is going right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ask me, we already in a recession. We need to
Whew.
do some bartering.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exchange of goods. I
Absolutely.
You hear me?
I do bartering at home. I be like, all right, man, you gonna cook tonight? Because if you do, I got something for you. So I barter at home all the time. I be like, hey, who wants to take the dog out? For some
Seriously.
food? I
Yes,
do
absolutely.
stuff.
That works
Yeah.
for sure in all aspects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to add to that is open your mouth. Open open your mouth to communicate what you need and what you do. Many of us are sleeping on skills, are sleeping on skills, and no one else knows about it. So open
Yeah.
your mouth to communicate exactly what it is that you do. And don't be afraid to ask somebody to,
Yeah.
do your hair and make them a wig or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. I seen it.
So I want to do a quick run back. We got
Yep.
multiple streams of income, taking inventory of your expenses,
Mhm.
negotiating and communicating early,
Mhm.
investments, mindfulness, and community.
Mhm.
So we 7 in. All
You
right.
ate.
We ate in now.
Number 8, buy in bulk.
Boop.
Okay. Buy in bulk. I cannot scream this from the rooftops loud enough. I used to grocery shop a meal or two at a time. And until I really stopped, I said, okay, somebody said it to me. And it was
Mm,
like 3 months before I did it.
mhm.
And when I shopped in bulk and didn't have to shop again for about 3 weeks, I was like, oh, y'all know you lying.
Mhm.
$100, y'all, I'm talking about everything, not just food. Like, for example, I was buying Lysol tub and towel spray or something, and it was buy one get one free. I'm gonna need 6 of those. Like, for me, it
Give me
has changed
14 of
my
them.
life, y'all. I'm for real.
A wrap.
I'm still mad that I let 90 days go by before I took the advice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Buy in bulk. It is cheaper. It will last longer, and your money will go further.
Yeah.
Buy in
Yeah.
bulk. Number 8.
Whew.
Listen. That just reminded me. I don't want to bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up. That reminded me before the pandemic. We saw on the news, we was all in Vegas, and we saw on the news something was happening. And I remember we all left work, went to the store, and it was before the racks were empty. It was before the racks were empty, but we was like, hey, it's something happening. It
Right.
ain't
I
gonna
need
hurt us.
all the tissue. Give me
Right.
all the tissue and all the papers.
And we left work and went to the store and was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Look what we could." That's crazy. I just remembered. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me, cause I don't know what's happening. Child, we had
Pile.
all
Okay.
type of canned goods in the cabinet for a long time, cause we was
Yeah.
not playing. I'm talking about. I think Hamburger
And the
Helper
water.
and the water. Yeah, I think
Uh,
Hamburger Helper uh stock went up or revenue went up during that time, cause
I
folks was getting
bet.
them boxes.
no doubt.
They were for sure. Something before I get into my tip. I
Uh-huh.
did want to say that something that keeps coming up or has come up was that stop waiting. Be open to the advice from others. Like people will tell us things and we won't act on it because we're not taking that advice. We're like, "Nah, this has been working for me, so I'm gonna stick to this." We must be open, especially during these times, to doing things differently because a
Yeah.
lot of things that we've never experienced are happening right now. So be
Mhm.
open. Yeah, just be open to taking the advice of others because we don't want to be like me where I was like, man, I should have done better with my money, should have done better with investments,
Mhm.
Yeah.
should have bought in bulk sooner.
Yep.
We got you
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. We lifelong learners. We
that
don't
we
stop.
are,
Don't
that
stop
we
learning.
are.
And hindsight's always 2020. So back to
Hmm.
that mindfulness. Also, keep yourself grounded.
Hmm.
Okay, I missed the mark then, but what am I doing now? I can't even get it out
Hmm.
good.
Yeah.
What am I doing now?
Yep, yep.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Okay.
So
Love
tip
that.
number 9 we're on, right? So tip
Yes.
Yep.
number 9 is definitely going to be um getting your documents in order.
I
Mm-hmm.
like it.
Get your documents and your and other paperwork in order. Gather important financial and personal documents, whether that's taxes, pay stubs, benefits info, passports these days, copies of your ID, passwords, insurance policies. Get this stuff in order. Now this might get a little morbid, but many of us are not planning for. I just haven't seen that we are planning for what happens when we're no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that we need to do a better job at that. We were
Mm-hmm.
talking on, I don't know if we were talking offline, and we were talking about, you know, if something were to happen to us, what about our kids? What would they
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
do? How would they survive? What could they afford and pay for?
Yeah.
And some of us can't even answer that question. Don't even
Mm-hmm.
know where our insurance policies are, how much they are, who to go to and who they're with, and have the conversations with the people that need to have conversations. Again,
Yeah.
we're in unprecedented times. We might need to talk to our children about, okay, well, this is that, especially those of us that have teenagers. I don't know how comfortable everyone feels with talking about their children, but I have 2 teens and I've been talking to them about, like, all right, well, I have insurance. This is how much,
Mm-hmm.
here it's in this location. I also bought like this book that I keep safe as well that documents important information. Now some of that
Yeah.
stuff they can't know because, like, don't be trying to kill me for my insurance money. But
Oh, God.
but yeah, so getting those documents and paperwork together, securing it in one place, both physical, actually in 2 places. Have a physical copy and a digital copy. Okay.
Absolutely.
Uh Chaos loves confusion. So and order brings calm. So make sure you handle your business as the CEO of your life that you are. Okay? So
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, tip number
That's
10. And then we may have some bonus tips after 10. So we ain't gotta after 10, we could just kind of throw them out there. But we spoke to it a little bit, but we didn't really dive into tip number 10, which is something we don't always like to talk about. I'm making it sound real suspicious. Um, credit.
Ooh,
Okay.
That part.
So we spoke about negotiating and communicating with your creditors,
yeah.
but also being a good steward of your credit. We even spoke about like knowing what you owe and
Mm-hmm.
minimizing what you can. But we gotta be good stewards about our credit. And
Yeah.
so that don't mean that stuff won't happen,
Right.
but like Dr. Nisha always say, communication, communication, communication. If you
Mm.
know you got something sitting in collections, and this more so Hasina's alley, if you know you got something sitting in, in collections, like please call them and negotiate. Be
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I ain't got the
Mm-hmm.
whole 700, but I got two, or can you do a payment
Yeah.
plan? Because if you find yourself in a jam at some point and you've exhausted all of your credit, or you have damaged your credit, like we
Mm-hmm.
were saying earlier, don't always wait for the big splash. Chip away what you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
while you can.
Absolutely.
If you currently in a situation where you got consistent income, carve in maybe $100 a check, $50 a check, whatever
Yeah.
your threshold is, and I'm about to just point out some folks. Okay, if you buy tobacco or marijuana or weave, and this is for all people, not just Black people. If you like fast food, if you like
Call them out.
restaurant food, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can carve out $50. If you're paying for memberships, if your Netflix don't have commercials, okay, if you in a bowling league, if you like shoes, if you listen, you can carve out 50 to $100 and say, let me chip away something. So if something come up one day, I at least can lean on my credit a little bit if I have to.
That's good. Way
No.
to wrap it. I love that.
Man, me too. Call us out,
Um,
honey. Call us out. Call
We
us
we
you
like
call
out.
folks.
man.
Yep.
We
I
like
do. We are. We are. We have to be. I do want
yeah.
to call out though and make sure, not call out, remind us like, look, these are tips and some of the things that we are trying. We listen.
So,
We are in unprecedented times. So do what works best for you. These are some things we understand, like we've mentioned already. You may not be able to pay certain things, you may not be able to invest at high levels, but make sure that you are doing something, okay? Because you don't want to be impacted to the point of no return as a result of this shutdown. So do what you need to do. I know for me, there were some things that I needed to do that we talked about today. And should I have done them before? Yes. Did I procrastinate? Yes. But here is your reminder to stop procrastinating, take action, and stop avoiding because it's still there. It's still going to be there. We just have to get strategic with what we're going to do and how we're going to tackle certain things. Certain things.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Okay. Did
All
you
right,
all
y'all.
have any more just miscellaneous tips or anything?
I just have one that I would give to the people.
Mhm.
Uh, strap up
Mm,
and make sure whatever state you live in, because they all carry different laws, that if you're required to have a concealed carry, that you get it. If you're required to have an owner's identification card, that you get it. Do it
mhm.
now.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
Okay.
Do not wait.
Yes, she said,
Protect
"Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready."
protect your
Listen.
peace. It's very important. Very important.
Hmm. Super
Okay.
important.
Okay.
We got to get to it. We got to get to it. All right, y'all. Are we ready for the group chat? The group
Yeah.
chat.
Can I throw out my last little three that I
All right.
ain't
Any
throw out?
more? Any
Oh,
more? We
we
get to the
sure
group
I
chat.
can.
promise.
Bonus
I'm.
tips. Love.
It's real quick. I promise. And I'm with you because I'm strapped up. Okay. My last few just my little tidbits. Always have something you could sell. That's like one of my
Mm,
rules. Like I need
Yeah.
something that is paid off in cash that I could a car or something. And if it's not that big of a thing, maybe it's a bag. Maybe I didn't sold bags that, I didn't wear anymore, or I don't offer up. I didn't met folks in grocery store parking lots. You hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. So have something you can sell if possible. Because if you have something of value, don't necessarily just give it away unless you're trying to be a blessing to somebody. But
Yeah.
don't just let it get dusty. You got some J's that you know is exclusive, like keep things you can sell. Try not to owe people. Like pay off your debts. If you owe people, like don't
Mhm.
be out here owing people, because people ain't gonna care if your money get tight and they come knocking on your door. And that's not for credit. It's about regular people, your auntie, your cousin. If you owe somebody, just
Mhm.
pay them. Like be a good
Mhm.
steward, right? And then
Right.
save. Last but not least, save if you can.
Woo.
My saving
Yes.
strategy is I cannot save in the same bank that I bank. Okay, I cannot save in the same account that I'm spending money. It just don't. It ain't gonna work. So if you trying to save, if you need to put it away, if you gotta take out cash, get you a little safe, But find ways to save so you can have you a little nest egg, and just don't touch it. If stuff get tight, just know. But that ain't the fun. You see what I'm saying? But that was all.
That
Mm.
I love that. That was good.
Same. Love it, love it, love it.
Oops.
I'll go ahead with us going into the group chat. I think we touched on quite a few for sure. Again, take what you need, leave what you don't. But the greatest takeaway from our main topic, I believe, is to have a strategy. Do not wait.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's time for the group chat now, for real, for real.
It's
All
time
right,
to
let's get to it.
Look at me.
All right, from the group chat, this is where any of our lovely listeners have submitted a letter or a DM just to either express themselves or get advice about a sticky situation they might be going through. So let's get right into it. This listener letter starts off. So I work for a federal contractor, and with all the shutdown mess going on, I'm freaked out. The last time this happened, I went about a month without pay and ended up maxing my credit cards to stay afloat. I keep hearing people say, budget better, pick a side hustle. But when? I'm already exhausted working 50 hours a week. I'm tired of living in survival mode every time politicians cannot agree. How do I stay financially and mentally strong and stable when my livelihood is in someone else's hands? Signed, shut down and stressed in DC. Wow.
Mm.
Well, first, sorry that this is happening to you. And honestly, you hit the nail on the head. Why do the middle class mainly suffer when the government can't agree? It's not fair, but sis, life isn't fair. And my very best and most sincere advice would be you have to save at least 3 months of your total expenses, no matter what. Picking up a side hustle for a lot of people I know is a challenge, especially if you have children, because, like you said, when
Mhm.
you have to maintain some type of space for yourself, because if you're not well, you can't work. So working yourself into the ground is not the answer, but I do feel like that 3 to 6 months of expenses is crucial. And honestly, if you don't do that, you're going to find yourself in the same situation every time the government can't get it together. So that is my most genuine advice. Ladies, what do you think? How can she bear it all?
I'll jump in. Um, I'm gonna say this. I actually was impacted by a statewide situation some years ago. State of Illinois did not have a budget, and so we were working. Yeah, so we were working full time, but we were expected to do a furlough day at least once a week. Furlough day meaning that one day you're not gonna get paid. So I was in leadership at that time. And it was almost like, now what day can I not work where they don't need me? I'm gonna tell you why this matters. And they had the nerve to say you can't do a Friday or Monday. Oh, so I can't have a long weekend, so I gotta take off on a Wednesday. I can't take off on a Wednesday. Like it was too much to do. So I say all that to say boundaries. Because baby, if you are working 50 hours a week and financially you're not seeing the fruit from that labor, that's the first issue. And then the second thing is I understand how jobs can be taxing. And if you want to do a good job, you have excellent work ethic, then you're going to give it your all. And
Yeah.
people usually say, I'm salaried, so I got to do it. Baby, say who? Well, because last time I checked a job, that's what make it a job. Every day you go back, you got something to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's
if I get everything done on a Monday, you know,
yeah,
boundaries. And I had to learn how to set those. I work 9 to 5. I'm just saying. If you work 8 to 4, you
Mm-hmm.
might need that little extra time you sewing into this one egg and investing your time into another, whether it's yourself, you got a side hustle, but it's back to the strategy. You have to find a way to get yourself up under that rock. And the first thing is setting healthy boundaries.
absolutely. I love that.
Come on now. Cause
Dr.
yes,
Nick, what you thinking?
I think in order to be able to sustain, I'm gonna have to agree with the both of you and piggyback on that. We've got to find a way to make more money, while also maintaining space and time for you, but then also having that cushion, right? And so here's what I would say: while you have to do those things, you might not know where to start as of right now, but finding ways to create the plan and strategize, I think incorporating these things in there, you're going to have to do it. Make a commitment to the plan that you are going to set forth to get
Good.
yourself out of the situation. I know you're exhausted already, but the reality of it is that you have to make more money. You have to build that cushion and you have to create time for yourself. So what does that look like for you in your life?
Yeah.
Jotting down what that would be, because that would look different for me. It would look different for Dr. Love. It would look different for Hasina. You
Yeah.
have to develop and discover what that plan will look like for you, and that is going to be your blueprint for doing the other things that the other ladies have mentioned. 3 to 6 months,
Mhm.
and making more money and
Yes.
Absolutely.
setting those boundaries, honey.
I think that's a good start. And especially something you said, Dr. Niche, make the plan, but then execute the plan. Because
Mm-hmm.
won't we come up with a grandiose plan and then
Mm-hmm.
don't do none of the stuff that we were supposed to do to execute the plan? Like, I know I'm guilty. I've had those moments in my life where I had it listed out, everything that I needed to do in order for a thing to work, and then I found myself doing everything but that. So I love that you what you said, Dr. Nish. Create the plan, then execute that plan.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
got to.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guess what?
It's
Pull up, pull
time
up.
for.
It's time for the pull-up challenge. And quite
I was about to say
frankly,
it's time for the percolator.
well, quite frankly, Hasina just spoke to our pull-up challenge.
Oh
And
wow.
so,
Oh,
write the vision, make it plain. So you come up with a plan, but then you don't execute it. It's just falling on hollow ground, right?
Mm.
So the pull-up challenge is let's revisit your strategy. Okay.
mhm.
And if you are a spiritual person, you might need to pray for that download. You might need to ask for some assistance with your strategy. And if you are not a spiritual person, carve out some time and sit with yourself. But the pull-up challenge is to execute at least one step of your strategy. Okay.
Mm.
And so I want you to think kind of like micro, right? So if your strategy is I'm going to start saving. I'm going to start investing. I'm going. If you have multiple things listed as a part of your strategy to be ready for the unknown, then
Yeah.
let's take one step between now and next week. Okay. And that one step might be opening up that savings that you don't have. That one step might be
Mm-hmm.
calling that one creditor that you know keep mailing you them statements and you just been throwing them away. Okay. Or looking into if you want to do an investment account, just taking a look. If you like Charles Schwab, if you into, you know, Robin Hood, whatever it is. But let's, as a pull up challenge, take one step, just one step, towards our strategy of being shut down ready.
Ooh, I
That's it.
love that. Now we done lost somebody.
We did. I don't
Uh,
know what happened, but we about to wrap up anyway if she don't make it
yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Cause
we are. We're about to wrap up, but
I,
I
look,
hope
she
that
ran off.
she makes it back on in. There she
I see
is.
her ran
She's
off. Oh, she back.
coming.
I'm about to say she said, let me
She
get my strategy started
Why the devil don't want me to do the pull up challenge?
now.
she said
We
the
got
devil don't want it. Hold on. Let me do you hold on. What is happening
we
I
here?
heard everything though. I was here, but my screen was just black, so I heard the entire pull up challenge. So I'm on that.
awesome.
Okay.
I was like, she didn't ran to get started. She like, listen, but what y'all talking about? Let me get started right now. That's what I'm saying.
We
We got
sure do
Lord,
thank you for coming back, boo.
absolutely.
Yeah.
okay. Well, guess what?
All right.
We made
All
it.
right.
We made it. We did it. We here, y'all. This was a
I
great
love
episode.
it.
I feel like it was great content. We
Mm-hmm.
are lifelong learners. So my bit of advice is like, don't keep focusing on what was. Like,
Yep.
let's make it happen now. We got time. We got time to fix
Mm-hmm.
things. Okay. Let's make it happen.
Yep.
This was excellent. Listen, thank you everybody for pulling up and sharing this hour and change with us. If something that we said sparked a thought or it made you feel seen or just really resonated with you, then I want you to do us a favor.
Yes. Don't keep this podcast to yourself. Share this episode with a friend. Tag us on the socials. And
Yeah.
I also want to say, let us know what some of your things are that you are going to do or you have prepared to do for the shutdown. Let us know because maybe there are some things that you might share with us that we want to implement. So don't be
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
gatekeepers.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Hit us up if you all have questions, like we said. If you have content, topics, feedback, whatever, hit us up. It's Three the
Yeah.
Hard Way Podcast at Gmail, or you can find us on IG as well. People leave comments on YouTube. And please subscribe. Tell your people to subscribe. Just because you fool with us. Tell everybody.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep.
Well,
Well,
it's been
Until
real. We love you guys. Until next time.
it's three
until
the
next
hard
time.
way.
That was so cute.